Okay. So we had started the last lecture हमने types of bioassays quantal and graded देखे थे, ठीक है, and we had seen different types of graded bioassays, that is bracketing method, matching method, interpolation and the multiple method along with the cumulative type. ठीक है, so under quantal bioassays we know that we see the direct endpoint, either the dose is going to elicit a response or it is not going to elicit the response. So हम लोग क्या record करने वाले हैं, we are going to record the response, either there will be a response or there will be no response at all, be it a standard or be it your test samples. ठीक है, of course standard तो रहेगा ही because you are going to compare your test with your standard, right? Standard क्या होता है? Anybody tell me what are standards? Why do you need standards? केतन, सूरज, वैष्णवी, क्या होता है स्टैंडर्ड?
अप्रोक्सीमेट वैल्यू रहता है मैम, जिससे अपन अपना जो सैंपल का जो मतलब जो भी वैल्यू रहेगा वो अपन कंपेयर करते हैं, एक अप्रोक्सीमेट वैल्यू।
ठीक है। इन टर्म्स ऑफ ड्रग्स, अगर तुम ड्रग डेवलपमेंट कर रहे हो तो तुम्हारा स्टैंडर्ड क्या रहेगा वहां पर?
स्टैंडर्ड
वैष्णवी, व्हाट वुड बी योर स्टैंडर्ड? वैष्णवी,
Standard is something we compare with the sample to know the perfect thing to compare with.
okay, and if you are into drug development, what will be your standard in that case?
The earlier drug, maybe.
The earlier drug?
As in the drug which maybe if you are making a new drug, we will check the standard as compared to the other drugs in the old one.
Means the one that are already present in the market or something else?
The one is already present in the market.
Okay, ठीक है. Good. Okay, so you're going to compare the dose of your standards and your test samples. Okay, and quantum में हम लोग क्या देखते हैं? We're just seeing the end point. Is the particular dose giving is the particular sorry, वो test organism जो है क्या वो उस particular dose standard और test को response दे रहा है कि नहीं? Either all of the response or none of the response. ठीक है, like digital is induced cardiac arrest in guinea pigs. So we're just seeing कि cardiac arrest हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है. Okay, pretty easy, like calculation of LD50, LC50. What are the advantages and disadvantages? Graded bioassays में हमने देखा था कि there are varying doses. So as the dose varies, the response is also going to vary. The term graded only is derived from the word gradual. So as the dose is going to increase, the response also will increase. Effects or response of standard unknown drug concentration are measured on the same tissues or the cells. So you're going to use your standard and you're going to use your test sample here also. As the dose will increase, the response is going to increase. Potency is estimated by comparing the response of test sample with the standard or control response curve. है ना, DRC से ही हम compare करने वाले हैं दोनों का. To calculate the concentration of the unknown, you're going to use the formula of threshold of standard upon the threshold of the sample into the concentration of your standard. Always remember this formula, okay? And threshold क्या होता है? It is the lowest dose where an induced effect is going to occur. We are always going to see the threshold. यानी कि हम सबसे कम डोज में जब इफेक्ट आ रहा है, रिस्पॉन्स दिख रहा है, वी आर ऑलवेज गोइंग टू चूज दैट. हम लोग ये इफ यू गोइंग टू सी द मैक्सिमम डोज, हाईएस्ट डोज पे क्या होने वाला है, वो हमारा इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट व्हेन यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट प्री क्लिनिकल ट्रायल्स, है ना, going to use test these organism bioassays वगैरह जो होते हैं, they are mostly used in your preclinical trials, right? So you are, of course, you are going to see the safety first of the particular drug या कंपाउंड का तुम सेफ्टी देखने वाले हो. तो सेफ्टी में हम क्या देखते हैं? कम से कम डोज में क्या रेस्पॉन्स आ रहा है. तो ऑलवेज गोइंग टू सी द लोएस्ट डोज, दैट इज व्हाट योर थ्रेशोल्ड इज. इट इज नेवर द हाईएस्ट डोज. हाईएस्ट डोज इज ऑलवेज गोइंग टू बी टॉक्सिक. ओके, एंड देन ये हमने ग्राफ देखे थे दो. So under graded, we have the first type, that is matching method, where you're going to match the responses of your standard and your test sample. ठीक है, until you are going to produce equal effects. Equal effects in what case? therapeutically equal effect. Okay. It does not help, it doesn't depend on the assumption of the dose response relationship. We had talked a lot about the dose response relationship already. We have seen the disadvantages, and this is how the graph looks like. Okay, the curves. So you have the DRC of your standard, drug response curve of your standard, and of your test. We're going to match it with either standard 1 or with standard 2. Okay. Then under bracketing method, we are going to select again two standard doses, will give a close bracket on either side of the response produced by the unknown. So these are going to have your response of your test sample, and in the sides are going to have the response of your two standards. Okay? The dose of the standard is kept constant to have some idea about the sensitivity, right? So you're going to keep your standard ka dose the same, but you're going to change the dose of your test. The response to test substance is bracketed between the two responses of the standard. It's going to give you more accurate results. तो तुम्हारा test sample जो है, test का जो DRC है, it is always bracketed between the standard. So you have S1, S2, then you have T, again S1, S2, then again S1, T, S2. Again all this is very random. ठीक है? Then interpolation method हमने देखा था, it is the simplest form of graded response or bioassay. It involves no statistical data and many calculations. It depends on the assumption of the log DRC. That is, it is going to assume that there is a dose response relationship. Okay, and it is plotted with the standard on a simple graph paper or a semi-log paper. So we're going to interpolate at the dose axis. Okay, after taking the anti-log, the concentration is found. This is the graph, what it looks like. So you're going to take the anti-log after interpolating the dose, anti-log लेंगे, and that would be the concentration of your unknown. That is your test sample. Okay. Finally, we have seen multiple point method where the responses are going to be repeated several times. So going to carry out the bioassay multiple times. Then you're going to take the mean of the responses. Why? So that the errors are minimized. So we have 3-point method, which is a 2+1 method. So 2 doses of standard plus 1 dose of your test sample. Yeah. So the DRC of the test sample of test sample, one test is selected so that it gives a response which lies between the two standard responses. So हम लोग कैसे करने वाले हैं, और test sample का जो response रहता है, it has to lie between the two standard responses, more than standard 1 but less than standard 2. Okay, it is performed by recording the standard and test responses using the Latin square design. So it's in a randomized fashion to minimize any bias that could occur. Okay, वो भी हमने डिटेल में देखा था, how and all. Then how we could carry out the dosages, वो भी हमने देखा था. Okay, then we calculate the mean plotted on the graph to estimate the potency of the test sample. This is how it looks like. Okay. Same goes to the 4-point method, 2+2, two doses of standard and 2 doses of your test sample. The method is going to remain the same. Again, you are going to use the Latin square for a randomized method to reduce chances of bias. Okay. And then we had seen the cumulative dose response, wherein the concentration of the drug is increased. And in the bath fluid, we had talked about this also in depth. Without washing the preceding doses, it is going to keep increasing the dose of the concentration in the bath fluid until you get a supramaximal effect, and according to that the DRC is plotted. Okay, supramaximal means above and beyond the usual or fixed maximum limit. This is how the graph looks like. Okay, so today we are starting with microbiological assays from the point of view of the scope of your practicals. So pay close attention. So quantitative or qualitative determination of chemical compounds from simple or complex material with the use of microorganisms. So you're either going to do qualitative or quantitative determination. Okay, but you're going to use microorganisms, strictly microorganisms here. When you talk about microbiological assays, you're going to always use microorganisms and not cells or tissue cultures. Okay, to determine the potency of drugs in animals and man. And now, if you want to know how potent a drug is, will it be therapeutic? If it's for example, it's an antibiotic. So you want to check how potent it is. So you're going to do the antibiotic testing on an organism, like a microorganism, right? From the microorganism, then you will go to some animal, and from the animal you will come to the man. Okay. So microbiological assay of antibiotics is the first point that I have covered here. So based upon the comparison of inhibition of growth of microorganisms. When you talk about antibiotics, the term that should come to your mind is always inhibition. Antibiotics क्या होते हैं? What are antibiotics? Hello.
which
बोलो बोलो
substance-
बोलो.
substances which kill or stop the growth of microorganisms.
Right. So whenever the term antibiotics come to your mind, you have to the other term that should come to your mind is inhibition of growth, right? तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं हम लोग जब antibiotics का bioassay करते हैं, we are going to check how potent antibiotic is to the test organisms or how sensitive those test organisms are to the antibiotic, right? So again, you're going to use a test and standard whenever an assay comes, whenever a bioassay comes, you're always going to use a test and a standard, right? Both should have equivalent biological response. ये तो हमने need for bioassays में हमने principles में हमने cover किया हुआ है. There is always a test and a standard, and both should be having equivalent biological response to demonstrate the therapeutic efficacy of antibiotics. So the agar cup method. So we're going to use a media along with the culture. So you have your nutrient media depending on the kind of bioassay you are carrying out. Okay, if you want a specific antibiotic which would need specific test organisms, जो test organisms को specific nutrients की nutrient media की जरूरत होती है, we'll go for differential media or we'll go for specialized media. ठीक है? Otherwise you just do it on your nutrient agar. Standard nutrient agar में तुम लोग करोगे. And to this molten agar, you're going to add your test cultures. It could be your basic lab cultures like S. aureus, or it could be Escherichia coli, whatever it is. Okay, so you're going to mix your culture, okay, which are grown 24-hour mature cultures. You're going to add it to your molten media, mix it nicely, and then pour it in your plate. Okay, please pay close attention. You're going to carry out these practicals also. ठीक है, तो तुम मीडिया में कल्चर ऐड करोगे, अच्छे से उसको मिक्स करोगे, एंड यू विल पोर इट इन योर स्टेराइल प्लेट्स, लेट इट सॉलिडिफाई. ओके, इससे क्या होगा अगर मैं मीडिया में पूरा कल्चर डालूंगी तो व्हाट विल हैपन? बोलो. What will happen if I add my culture to the media and then I let it solidify? What is going to happen? How is it different from just spreading the organism on the surface of the media? Jaldi
Ma'am,
बोलो.
they need more surface and more media.
Okay. Yeah, I'm understanding what you're trying to say. So basically, when you're going to add your culture in the media, mix it and then pour it in your sterile plates, what is going to happen? पूरे अगार में अंदर भी, even at the bottom, microorganisms are going to grow, not just on your surface, even inside the agar they will grow. Okay, so uniformly they are all distributed in the agar. They are not just on the surface. वो अगार के अंदर भी है और प्लेट के बॉटम में भी है. ठीक है? Then I'm going to bore wells. So you have a cock borer. Microbiotic वालों को तो definitely पता होगा what is a cock borer, right? ऐसा स्टील का वो रहता है. It is going to have two orifices, two openings. ठीक है? And you're going to bore wells in your media. It could be 4 or 6 or just 2, depending on your concentration and all of that stuff. ठीक है? So you're going to bore wells in your agar. That is what is your agar cup method. ठीक है? You're going to bore wells in your media using the cock borer. तो क्या होगा? When you bore a well in the media, खड्डा हो जाएगा, but आजू बाजू में अगार रहेगा and microorganisms are going to be there. Okay. Then again you're going to use standard and test samples. So you're going to use your stand. You're going to put the concentration. Liquid रहता है, right? When you do agar cup method, your formulation is always liquid. You're going to put your standard, some amount of standard in the well. Then I'm going to put increasing or different concentrations of an antibiotic solution. Okay, antibiotic solutions are going to make different standards and you're going to put them in the wells. Okay. Refrigeration and incubation. You're going to, after you put your, क्या बोलते हैं? After you put your, I'm not getting the exact scientific term for that. When you dispense, हम लोग ये नहीं बोलते कि you put the liquid in the meat. Well, हम ऐसे नहीं बोलते. The scientific term is to dispense. ठीक है? Please note it down somewhere. To dispense. ठीक है? So even in your viva and when you're writing your journals, please write it like this: to dispense the different concentrations in the well. We're going to write to dispense, not put or fill. To dispense is the scientific term. Okay, so going to dispense your fluids or your antibiotic solutions of different concentrations or varying concentrations in the wells, and you're going to keep them as it is. सीधा ही रहेगा plate, and you will put it in the refrigerator. Why in the refrigerator? To let the antibiotic solution diffuse inside the media for like 5 to 15 minutes, maximum 15 minutes is sufficient. एंड देन यू आर गोइंग टू सीधा ही रखना है, उल्टा नहीं करना है प्लेट. हम लोग जैसे स्ट्रीक करते हैं, वी स्प्रेड द प्लेट, हम लोग स्प्रेड करके उल्टा कर देते हैं, राइट? वी इन्वर्ट द प्लेट. यू नॉट सपोज टू डू दैट व्हेन यू आर डूइंग माइक्रोबायोलॉजिकल एसेज. ठीक है, यू हैव टू कीप इट स्ट्रेट इटसेल्फ इनटू द इंक्यूबेटर 37 डिग्री सेल्सियस 24 आवर्स. ठीक है, और वॉट एवर इज द रिक्वायरमेंट फॉर द ग्रोथ ऑफ द ऑर्गेनिज्म. इफ द ऑर्गेनिज्म का रिक्वायरमेंट इज 72 hours, then 72 hours. 48 hours, 48 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours. Okay, so you refrigerate, you incubate it, and next day, what are you going to observe? This is how the wells are bored. Okay, this is your media. Okay, and उन्होंने they have not done streaking या spreading नहीं किया हुआ है. They have put the culture into the media and poured it. That's how the media looks like. Okay, when you pour the culture in the media, and the wells are bored. Okay, so जो खड्डे हैं, those are your wells or your cups, and you're going to dispense your solutions into that wells. So what is going to be your observation? Can anybody tell me? What are you going to observe the next day?
So zone of inhibition or exhibition?
That's what I'm asking. What you're going to observe? दोनों में से कुछ एक ही होगा ना, दोनों तो नहीं हो सकते.
Yes, ma'am.
So what are you going to observe?
Here zone of inhibition.
Okay, inhibition. Anybody else? सबको inhibition ही लग रहा है?
Zone of clearance.
Who is this?
Sheetal.
Okay. Anybody else? बस 2 ही आंसर्स. तुम लोग 10 लोग हो, बाकी के? What about others?
Zone of inhibition.
Okay. What about Ketan, Suraj, Vaishnavi, Darshana? तुम लोगों को क्या लगता है? What are you going to observe?
Same
I
zone
think
of
we see the
inhibition,
zone of
clearance.
inhibition around the wells. If that is present, which means the antibiotic has the potency to kill the microorganism or bacteria we are using.
Right, zone of inhibition. ठीक है. केतन, तुम कुछ बोल रहे थे?
Yes, same ma'am. Zone of inhibition, exhibition, and clearance around
ना,
around the colony.
दोनों तीनों में से कुछ एक ही हो सकता है बाबा.
Zone of clearance, zone of inhibition, ma'am.
Okay, ठीक है. What about Suraj?
Zone of inhibition.
Okay, perfect. All of you are right. We always observe zone of inhibition. Like I had said, as soon as you hear the term antibiotics, inhibition तुम्हारे दिमाग में आना चाहिए. Please remember, तुम्हारे वाइवा में ये question पूछा जाता है and you're not able to answer. ऐसे होता है. Whenever we are doing bioassays for antibiotics, we always observe the zone of inhibition, never exhibition. Why? Logic. Antibiotic क्या होता है? It is going to restrict or it is going to inhibit the growth of microorganisms or any organisms. मतलब any living organism को वो grow होने नहीं देगा. So antibiotics are always going to inhibit the growth, right? So always going to observe the zone of inhibition around the wells. So if the antibiotic is potent against that organism which is in the plate in your media, it could be E. coli, it could be S. aureus. So what do we say? We observe a zone of inhibition around the well, and that organism is sensitive to that particular antibiotic. ओके ऐसे भी होता है कि जोन ऑफ इनहिबिशन नहीं आता, तब हम लोग क्या कंक्लूड करते हैं कि दैट पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म may not be sensitive, it may be resistive. ठीक है, it may be resistant to the particular antibiotic and that is why it is growing. Since it is sensitive, इसलिए वो grow नहीं हो रहा है, but अगर वो resistant होगा उस antibiotic के against, it will grow. बराबर? Okay, and then we plot the graph. Standard का graph अगर हम लोग plot करेंगे and we interpolate and all of that stuff. ठीक है, जो हम practicals में cover करेंगे. Okay, is this point clear? Microbiological assay of antibiotics.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. Moving on to bioassay of vitamins. This is your second another practical which is covered. ठीक है, so vitamins का like हमको पता है, you do not have any chemical, there are not many chemical methods for vitamins, so we always go for bioassay. Vitamins का हमेशा bioassay होता है. ठीक है, here I have taken example of vitamin B12. So the bioassay is performed to check its efficiency on the test organisms at various concentrations and the ability of the organisms to grow. See, there in antibiotics, it is inhibition. When you're talking about bioassay vitamins, you're going to check the ability of the organisms to grow. वहाँ पे to not grow and here to grow. ठीक है, very different. Both the assays of bioassays are very different. ठीक है. And another thing is that you guys should know what is vitamin B12. ठीक है. So we're going to check the efficiency on the test organism. किसका efficiency check करने वाले हम? Vitamin B12. How efficient is the vitamin B12 on the test organism? Here your test organism is going to be of what kind? Anyone having any idea? किस type का test organism होगा यहाँ पे? If you want to check if the vitamin B12 is efficient, what kind of test organism will you use in that case? Anyone having any idea? You can just say yes or no.
Services.
And the organism which will use vitamin B12 for their growth.
And they cannot synthesize by themselves.
Yes, ma'am. So we will providing.
Right, correct. That is the exact point that I was looking for. So we're going to use test organisms which cannot synthesize vitamin B12 by themselves, and they will require vitamin B12 to grow. ठीक है? So हम लोग क्या क्या देखने वाले हैं? We're going to see two important things. We're going to check how efficient the vitamin B12 is, and how will we know that if it is efficient? Depending and seeing how the organisms are growing, whether they're growing or they're not growing. ठीक है? Again, you're going to have a test and a standard. So again, you're going to use the agar cup method, and here is agar diffusion. Even there, agar diffusion ही होता है. ठीक है? So again, you're going to use a media and a culture. You're going to add your culture to the media, but the culture is the one that cannot synthesize vitamin B12 by itself. It's a very different strain of E. coli. ठीक है? If I'm not wrong, it is 113 Davis strain है. शायद I'm not sure. When you do your practicals, confirm हो जाएगा. ठीक है? So we're going to use that kind of a strain or test organism which cannot synthesize vitamin B12 by itself. The medium is devoid of vitamin B12 but contains all the essential nutrients needed for its growth. ठीक है? Devoid का मतलब क्या होता है? Anyone knows devoid?
Not present.
Right, not present. So your medium is not going to have vitamin B12. है ना, क्योंकि हम vitamin B12 का ही bioassay कर रहे हैं, तो हम vitamin B12 क्यों डालेंगे उसमें? So it's going to have all other essential nutrients that is required for the growth of the test organism, but it will not contain vitamin B12. ठीक है? Again, you're going to bore wells in the media, and you're going to dispense your different concentrations of vitamin B12 into the wells. You're going to keep it in the refrigerator for diffusion. You will keep it in the incubator to check the growth of the organisms. And what are you going to observe here? यहाँ पे तुम लोग क्या observe करने वाले हो?
Zone of
Exhibition.
Zone of exhibition. Correct. We're going to observe the zone of exhibition. Antibiotics, zone of inhibition. vitamins, zone of exhibition. Exhibition का मतलब क्या है? To exhibit. Exhibit what? The ability to grow, right? The organisms, to check whether the organisms are having the ability to exhibit growth or to grow. So sorry, that is your zone of exhibition. ठीक है? Again, you're going to grow you're going to plot a graph and I'm going to interpolate the concentration accordingly. Okay. Now, let me tell you one thing. It is very easy to get confused between the two by just looking at the plate. If you don't know what is the bioassay about, because ultimately you're going to get zones around the well. Okay. तुमको पिक्चर में क्लियरली दिख रहा है कि नहीं? आई डोंट नो, बट यू कैन सी जोन्स थोड़े से फेंट है बट दे आर विजिबल. इफ यू डोंट नो किसका बायोएसे है, यू कैन नॉट से कि वो कि कौन सा है, इनहिबिशन है कि एग्जिबिशन है, कौन सा जोन है, यू कैन नॉट टेल दैट. ठीक है. सो इफ यू आर सेट कि दिस इज अ प्लेट फॉर द बायोस ऑफ एंटीबायोटिक्स, व्हाट डू यू ऑब्जर्व? यू विल ऑब्जर्व द जोन ऑफ इनहिबिशन. सर्कुलर ही दिखेगा तुमको जोन. ठीक है. सो लुक समथिंग डिफरेंट. But when they say it is a biomass of vitamins, what is your observation? It is always a zone of exhibition. Always remember this. ठीक है. It's very easy to get confused between the two because plate पे वो same ही दिखता है. Okay, but you should know कि bioassay किसका हो रहा है. What is your test sample? Fine. ठीक है. यहाँ तक सबको क्लियर है? We are done with bioassays का part. We are done with introduction to bioassays, bioassays in pharmaceutical industry, in vivo, ex vivo, in vitro, in vivo, ex vivo bioassays, types of bioassays, quantile graded, graded made 4-5 types, and even microbiological assays. यहाँ तक clear है सबको? Pretty easy.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, cool. So we're moving on to the next subtopic, that is ethical issues of using animal assay systems. ठीक है. जहाँ पे अभी हमको पता ही है that you know whenever you're carrying out preclinical trials, once हम लोग microorganisms use करते हैं, we use cell cultures, tissue cultures, organ हम use करते हैं, and जब हम in vivo और test करते हैं, we are actually using the whole organism, right? The most common test organisms are mice, laboratory mice. You have your rabbits, dogs, cats are also used. ठीक है. So we'll just see a little bit about that. Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Dhanashri. I
Ma'am,
can't hear.
hi, hello, ma'am. Can you hear me now?
हाँ बोलो.
Ma'am, then when we see zone of clearance,
Sorry.
when we see zone of clearance, then
Zone of clearance.
yes.
Zone of clearance का दूसरा रहता है. I don't remember right now zone of clearance, but we can always Google it and check it out. Wait. I don't remember. Let me just see. Okay, it is the same, a clear zone or zone of inhibition. ठीक है. But it is zone of clearance is seen in disk diffusion tests. That is the difference. A major difference, I guess, that I could interpret is that zone of clearance you would get it around a disk when you do disk diffusion. मतलब कि when you take your media and you spread your test organism on the surface of the media, you place your antibiotic soaked disk on the plate, and तब जो disk के around जो clear zone मिलता है, that would be your zone of clearance. ठीक है. it literally it means the same. Clearance का मतलब क्या होता है कि वहां पे organism is not growing. Clearance. ठीक है. But this why am I using mouse? This particular one, the question that is answered at Quora is saying that it is seen in the disk diffusion test. ठीक है. But I think it would remain the same. The meaning would remain the same only. ठीक है. Okay. किसने पूछा ये question? शीतल. Okay. ठीक है. Okay. Should we resume back to ethical issues? Resume करें हम?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, cool. ठीक है. So, coming to ethical issues of using animal assay systems. Okay. Now, Humans have a variety of different relationships with animals. है ना? We live in an ecosystem and we are always having some or the other relationship with animals, be it good or bad, right? They bring pleasure to our lives as companions if we are keeping them as pets, dogs or cats. Some people also keep lions and tigers as their pets, you know. So ultimately, they are companions. And when we observe them in their natural environment, like in the zoos or in the wildlife parks or sanctuaries, right? So either when you go to observe them in the zoo or when they are your own pets, okay, at home. In some cultures, certain animals are thought to have religious significance and are treated with special reverence. And especially in our Hindu culture, there are a number of animals that are having religious significance, like the cows and your elephants. है ना? In कुछ religions में even the goat is having significance, chicken is having significance. Like there's so many animals. Rohu, the fish is also having some religious significance, right? But we also use animals extensively for food, clothing, transport, and sports such as racing or hunting. हम लोग as food भी chicken, mutton खाते हैं. Okay. Then for clothing purposes, especially for transportation like bullock carts and ghoda gadi, your horse cart, and even donkeys are used as transportation. Then for racing again horses are used, and for hunting, people hunt and wild animals like giraffes, then lions and tigers and rhinoceros and all that animals. Yeah. Debate about research on animals is not new. Okay. है ना? कुछ नया नहीं है कि why you should be using animals or why you should not be using animals. This debate about them is not new. It has been happening since many years. ठीक है? Animals have been used in basic and applied research for more than 2000 years. For more than 2000 years, and the acceptability of this practice has been contested for a similar length of time. Ever since the civilization happened and people started, humans, the non-animal, they are your human beings. Okay? So since human beings also come under the animal kingdom, we refer to humans as non-animals. Okay? And animals is animals. So man has been using animals for research for 2000, more than 2000 years, since civilization has ever happened. So there are people who have opposed to using animals in research, and there are people who have accepted using animals in research. Let that research be any kind. If you guys remember or know that the when humans had to go to moon, they sent a dog, right? उन्होंने एक dog को भेजा था instead of sending a human being. They sent an animal, the dog, thinking, or they may have decided that the dog's life is not that worth. That is why they sent the dog. It is the same for all the animals. So this debate has always been there ever since research on animals have started. Okay, so one of the articles that I just picked up for your reference. During the last century, the technological capacity of medical, biological, and pharmaceutical sciences has developed substantially, and both the number of researchers and the number of animals used in research has increased. Like we know, population has been increasing. It has never come down. It has always been increasing, and it will always be increasing. As population increases, pharmaceutical industry has arisen, food industry has arisen, all the industries have come up. Okay, they have grown over the period of time. But when you especially focus on the medical industry, pharmaceutical industry, and the cosmetic industry, as products are coming out into the market, they just don't come in the market, right? They have to undergo tests. We all know about that. So animals are also used as test organisms for the same. तो जैसे जैसे इंडस्ट्री का ग्रोथ होता है उतना रिसर्च इंक्रीज होता है, number of animals used will also definitely increase. Okay? In the recent years, the debate has intensified and has become more public in several countries. Initially, when these debates were happening, it was not very popular among the developed countries or the developing countries, but now it has become very much more public. Okay. There is a wide range of opinions concerning the acceptability of research involving animals. Okay. Out of which the two remain the most common and the most basic opinions that Do we really need animals? There's another opinion that yes, we do need animals. Okay. Now, next thing is types of research on animals that are used. We all are very aware about it, but just as an introductory to the subtopic, I have put this. Okay. Research involving animals is varied in both its nature and purpose, in the types of animals involved and in the effect that it has on them. ठीक है, तो रिसर्च किस टाइप का है उसके बेसिस पे एनिमल होता है. ओके, and to observe the kind of effect it has on them. Like at its least harmful, the सबसे कम harmful research जो होता है वो कौन सा होता है? It will take the form of passive observations of wild animals in their natural habitats, where you're just going to observe how the wild organisms are behaving in their natural habitat. You're not going to do anything to them. It is going to observe. That is the least harmful kind of a research or a survey kind of a thing. Okay, to see how the animals are reacting to less number of trees, or how the animals are responding to too many animals in one place. So different kinds of researches and surveys के हिसाब से वो होता है. Yeah. So where you're just going to observe the animals in their natural habitat. You're not going to make any changes in their environment. You're not going to bring them to your lab and check. You're going to let them live in their environment, and you are going to go there and observe. Okay? Scientists also observe animal behavior under laboratory conditions, where you're going to grow the animal in your laboratory. Such studies may have a negative impact on the animal's welfare if they are kept in an environment which is incompatible with their species specific needs. If you bring a monkey and grow it in your laboratory, the environment is not compatible. They need trees, they need to jump here and there, they need free water, they need fruits, they need so many things, right? In their environment, you are not able to recreate the same kind of or imitate the same kind of environment for them in the laboratory, because you're going to use them for different kind of research and experiments. So that is always going to have a negative impact on that psychology. Not only psychologically, but then everything will change, right? They're going to have all those impacts are always going to be negative on them. Okay. When you grow the monkey in a laboratory, you can see the difference in the two pictures. Yeah. Okay. I should be giving a disclaimer warning. I have put pictures, so just to don't क्या बोलते हैं emotionally involved मत होना ज़्यादा. Okay. Okay. Certain invasive laboratory techniques may affect the welfare. Sentence. It is going to affect it in mild ways. But you guys have studied toxicology, right? You know the kind of things that are done to animals. They are always put injections to draw the blood sample, or to inject or administer the drug into the animal. There's so many invasive techniques, or if they are coming up with a medical device, the device has to be inserted into the animal. It needs to be cut, and it फिर उसमें अंदर device डालेंगे, then it needs to be operated and all of that stuff. So many invasive techniques they have to undergo. Then more harmful research, such as testing the safety of novel medicines like toxicology, may cause substantial pain and suffering. Putting the word may in the sentence doesn't justify to what they go through, because they go through a lot of pain and a lot of suffering, which they being animals cannot tell us. Of course, right? So they have to even if they are mice or if they are rabbits or whichever animal it is, it will endure some kind of pain and suffering after we are going to do toxicity testing on them. Ultimately, they're going to die. Okay. Almost all laboratory animals are killed once experiments are complete, because it is a human thing to do ultimately, because that organism undergoes so much of techniques, invasive techniques are done, invasive operations are done on them. So many times blood samples are taken out for DAB studies. So they are in a lot of pain, and that is why they are killed, okay, or they are sacrificed in the most sophisticated way, because it's the most humane thing to do. Instead of letting them live and suffer the pain, it is better to sacrifice them. Okay. In some cases, research is undertaken on anesthetized animals that are killed before they recover consciousness. Anesthetize कब करते हैं हम, कब anesthesia देते हैं? When we need to carry out some invasive operation or some invasive technique onto them, wherein you're going to cut the animal or something like that. So they're always anesthetized. They do not feel the pain at that point of time, but when they will recover consciousness, they will be in a lot of pain. So they are killed before that itself. Okay. Like you know about the CO2 chamber, and otherwise they are given administered barbiturates जिससे कि उनका heart will stop. ठीक है. Now, some examples that I've put of the use of animals in research, like the rat or the mouse is used in cancer research, metabolic diseases, testing of drug activity, and genome research. Mouses, rats, mice, they are the most commonly used laboratory animals when you're talking about drug development. Okay? Then rabbits for vaccine development and again drug to test the drug activity. Cows, horses for vaccine development, isolation, and veterinary research. Of course, veterinary research bhi chahiye hi hai because when you are developing drugs for humans, you need to develop drugs even for animals, right? Then cat undergoes heart surgery, neurophysical studies, physiological studies, development of hearing aids, research on cat leukocytes, and veterinary research. Dogs pay cardiovascular research, heart surgery, bone marrow transplantation, osteosynthesis, diabetes, and veterinary research. Pig transplantation surgery, osteosynthesis, emergency surgery, diabetes research, cardiovascular diseases, osteoporosis, and veterinary research. Yeah. Also animals, these bigger animals like pigs are also used in medical studies. Okay, when the doctors after they finish their MBBS and stuff, when they are getting into surgery wala specialization, when they do they need क्या बोलते हैं, they need something to practice on. ठीक है. So they use pigs also to practice. The ones that are already very sick and very old and are initially going to die only sometime, only animals पे वो लोग वो practice करते हैं. ठीक है. Okay, now the different positions or takes or opinions in animal research. Either some people are going to be in favor of the animal research, but when experimenting on animals is acceptable only if the suffering is minimized in all the experiments. Okay? Human benefits are gained which could not be obtained by using other methods. कोई और method करके वो human benefit अगर gain नहीं हो रहा था, and it was absolutely necessary to carry out the research in animals, only then it is acceptable. ठीक है? When are you going to be against? There are some people against experimenting on animals because it causes suffering to them. That's very, very, very logical. The benefits to humans are not proven. Human benefits are gained, which could be obtained by using some other methods. Okay? Now, what are the ethical issues that are raised by animal research? The main scope of our topic. The debate about research involving animals ranges broadly over two distinct questions. Whether animal research yields useful knowledge that could not be gained from other sources, whether it is not morally acceptable for humans to use animals in ways that can cause them harm. Is it really morally ethical and acceptable for one species to cause harm to another species for the benefit of their own species? That is the question. Two questions that come up whenever it's about animal research. Yeah. Today, there exists a wide spectrum of views on the subject, ranging from those who are concerned with animal rights to those who view animals only as a resource to be exploited. ये जो PETA है, then there are so many animal rights committees, there are NGOs who fight for animal rights. They are the ones who are concerned with this particular aspect of not using animals for research. While there are other people who are also, or there are other part of the population who are going to view animals only as a resource that should be exploited. Okay? That is for the benefit of the humans. Okay? All of these viewpoints have contributed to the development of ethical principles of animal use, right? There are people who are against it, there are people who are for it, so there needs to be something in between to buffer it out. So that's where the development of ethical principles came up. Okay. Animal ethics is a term used to describe human animal relationships and how animals ought to be managed and treated, right? So, ये जो term है animal ethics, it is not only going to tell us the human-animal relationship, but it is also going to tell us how the animals should be managed, उन्हें कैसे रखना है, under what lab conditions, how they should be treated, and all of that stuff. Okay. The particular subject matter of animal ethics is going to include animal rights, animal welfare, animal laws, animal cognition. Cognition as in it is going to encompass the mental capacities of non-human animals. Non-human animals are animals, right? So their mental capacities are also taken into consideration. What effect is happening on their psychology? Okay. Wildlife conservation and the moral status of non-human animals and history of animal use. Okay. This is the end. Yeah. Okay. यहाँ तक सबको समझा हमने क्या पढ़ा है?